Hi, I'm Rob Wazinski, Head Lead Tech here at Casey's Autobody. Our industry is changing rapidly. The big push by all the manufacturers is gas mileage, and the way they're going to do this is by making the vehicles lighter. To lighten them up, they are completely coming out with all new kinds of materials. You've probably already heard of aluminum, carbon fibers, plastics. They're all constantly changing the different type of plastics. And the way we here at Casey's Autobody is keeping up with the industry is we invest in new equipment. And what I want to show you here today is our newest additions to Casey's Autobody, is our new Spinazy welder. As you can see, it has 3 lines here. The first one, line 1, is your normal steel welder, just like a MIG welder of any sorts. Completely electronic. All you do is pull the trigger. It switches the computer program. The second one we have is for silica bronze. Silica bronze is similar to the old school of brazing. It's a much cooler weld. The new composite materials that they're coming out with, ultra high strain steels, are very susceptible to heat. So when they're welded, if we welded it with a normal MIG welder, the heat transfer would turn the ultra high strain steel into mild strain steel. So the manufacturers are calling for a cooler weld, and by doing that, we go with the silica bronze. It puts a little bit of flexibility into the weld, and also does a much smaller heat transfer to the affected weld area. And the number 3 welder that we have here is aluminum. I'm sure everybody out there has heard of the aluminum push, and so now we have the capability of welding aluminum. And this welder, simply by pushing the trigger, switches the gas, switches the program over to that welder. So I could go from steel, grab a silica bronze, hit that trigger, and immediately start welding on that. A quick look on the inside of this welder, you'll see the spools. This is steel, silica bronze. Aluminum would go here. The reason we do not have the aluminum spool in there is aluminum corrodes instantly once it comes in contact with the air. And that corrosion that develops on the aluminum rod takes a lot more energy to weld that off than the actual melting of the aluminum rod itself. So we keep that in a plastic bag sealed and only put it in the machine when we're ready to use it. The second machine I want to show you is a nitrogen welder. This is for welding plastics, and it uses nitrogen. Now I know some of you might wonder, how do we weld plastic? Welding, in theory, is just taking and fusing 2 materials together. Whether it's steel, aluminum, or even plastic, we are going to fuse the 2 plastics back together. Now, not all plastics can be welded, but with polypropylene being the #1 plastic used, or a mixture of, we can use nitrogen, which nitrogen is in this tank, is then sent to this wand. In the wand here is a superheated coil. It heats that nitrogen up, and then it blasts it on the plastic, melts it, and then we use different rods to, kind of the same way in theory that our other welder uses a rod on a spool. We are then using a plastic and then melting it out. And if you'd like more info on how we weld plastics, watch our next video where I'll do a short demonstration on how this machine actually works.